Okay, so linking up Loop Cloud. Loop Cloud is now sync connected to Ableton Live 10. And yes, whatever I play now will be automatically synced to 120, alright? But then let's just make it up slightly faster, because like we know that the typical Future Bass tempo is not that slow. We will probably need to sort of alter it afterwards. But let's see. Let's find that. So we stop at just now at finding that nice warp. What did I name it as? Wait a minute. How many do we have here? 15. Yeah, it's correct. 15. Let's see. Is this one? Nope. Yep, this particular one. So this particular warp, if you can listen to it now, it's layered. So we sort of layer it with there's a saw, and then there is a arpeggio that's also sort of playing, and then there is a sort of low note that is like playing something like a counter melodic or something like that. So it's a very rich wobble. Let's see, it's a 150. Okay, let's dive in. 150. And since we are pretty sure that we will be using this, so drag and drop. So 150, and let's play that. In fact, yeah, I like it slower. So 145. Okay, so you can see that when I sort of make it slower, it sort of like chop it up, like very choppy, because it's like this how Ableton sort of perceive like how it's stretching the audio, right? So let's go for Complex Pro. Okay, so this is the loop. So there's still a lot of space you can play. You see that there's a lot of empty spaces. So you can when you sort of move into arrangement, you can probably try to chop it up and give it more dynamic. Maybe like there's lesser wobble in front, then more wobble at behind, for example. So this is like you're putting on your sort of producer thinking cap even when you're already at the first samples. So you can sort of imagine like maybe like how you would approach it in a verse, how you approach it in the chorus, for example. Okay, so now we got this thing going on. Let's dive in, and maybe let's just go for a drum. So instead of we just go for maybe future R&B. So because here it's like sort of similar. So let's see. Okay, so we can sort of future kit full drum. Okay, let's just play it. So this drum loop, they sort of sync perfectly. So whenever there's a pause, like they sort of like their pause sort of sync very nicely. So the drum during the pause, I think they are some strategically placed snap. That sort of snap at the right moment. So yes, I like it. Now we can use it. And so this particular drum over here, we're lucky to have a top version. So top version is like there are no kick. So there's a lot of room you can play with now. So I would go for the top instead, right? So I would drag it into a new one, and yeah, so this is technically a drum. So let's maybe OCD a bit and assign track colors and group tracks. Okay, nice. So we got this drum top. So like now there's no kick going on. Okay, let's make it maybe like this. Okay, so like see why do I need to constantly go and change my warp modes? Because now our tempo is sort of sitting like closer to this. So see it's 160, it's 150, but our tempo now is 145. So we need to constantly go and sort of make sure that like how Ableton stretch our audio, it's sort of according to a right mode, so it sounds smooth. So we got these two going on. So yeah, maybe like now instead, my kick, I'll program my own kick instead. So so my template itself, my sidechain is already set nicely to my kick and snare. So if I program my kick in now, I can immediately listen to the sidechain, right? So let's go on and create a 4-bar loop, and let's see, listen to it. Something here, maybe. Just randomly pressing it in. Hopefully it does sync up. Nope. Okay, something like that. Okay, double it. So I can sort of make it like a 2 separate variation. Let's see, maybe at the end. So there's a drum roll. So we can sort of compensate that drum roll and see. Okay, so now we are sort of very fixed the grid. So maybe like, I don't like it. Maybe I want it to be a bit more swingy. Would it sound better like this? Nah. Maybe instead, this one should be, I'm not sure. I like this to be in front. Double kick. Okay, maybe double kick doesn't really work well at times, so let's just keep it like this, and then we edit more as we go. Okay, so let's just make it slightly louder. Okay, maybe at this point, you feel like, maybe you want it to be more hype. Maybe, let's just bring it back to 150 lah. Okay, and so you're probably hearing some phasing because the loop cloud, it's also playing. Okay, so since you're back in loop cloud, let's just find more things, right? So now this thing, so it's in B minor. So let's just go here, key, and just fix it to B, and let's find something else to fit, right? So B minor, let's go back here. Okay, now let's try a ARP maybe. Let's see how it works. Okay, so this one maybe not the best one. Let's just continue on and see. We have quite a lot of up here. Okay. Okay, not too bad. We'll use that. So this is 3 semitone up. So we need to remember that. Okay, let's drag it in and then 3 semitone up. Okay, maybe some volume tweaking. Okay, so we sort of got certain main elements there. So maybe we can use a lead, right? So and then a bass. So this is probably like the basic sort of building blocks towards. Okay, so lead. Okay, so we're not that strong on that point, so we didn't add any lead on our side, but we know who will definitely have lead. All right. Okay, let's go back to our good friend at cymatics, and okay, let's probably let's go for lead first in cymatics. Is this registered? Okay, let's see. Okay. So B, so that thing is there. So let's just make sure that we actually get a minor. And yeah, let's try this, random. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Let's just see any more we can find. Okay, not too bad too, but maybe, yeah, it's still, future bass, maybe, yeah, a vocal chop is still, that kind of just fits better lah, in vocal chop. So let's find, if we can find more vocal chop-ish sort of samples. Vocal lead, okay. Okay. Let's find more. We have a lot to choose from, right? Nope, definitely not correct one. Okay, so this is a different type of lead. Let's just find a bit more different one. So lead is pretty much a solo, you can say singer, right? The lead, as the name suggests, lead actor, right? Lead sound. So that is the front, the one that you listen to, when you listen to a song, for example. Oops. Okay, maybe this might work. Okay, I like it. But yeah, maybe like the timing is not what I would expect it to be, but that's not a problem. We can always, tweak it when we actually use it in our song. Because again, this is how you should be using loops. You should be editing it. When you use it like straight away without editing it, you are just as mentioned. A lot of people say this. Loops are free and easily available. Maybe like there will be a few other person that's using the same exact loop. So it's up to you to tweak it to get something different, right? So let's see. This is 4 semitone up. We will drag it in. Nope, no more space. Let us just create a new track real quick. And then drag and drop 4 semitones up, and voila. Okay, the vibe is decent so far, and we are already eating up about 5 tracks so far. So we have 3 more tracks to work with, where we definitely need a bass, and 1 more track for effects and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much we only have like 1 more track to play with. And Okay, I would imagine we probably need maybe something for the verse, right? So maybe, you know, like a, yeah, let's start chill, right? So maybe we need a piano to, you know, bring this whole thing in, for example, right? So let's just delete loop cloud because we probably wouldn't need loop cloud for now. Do we need loop cloud? We need a snare. Okay, now you know what? Let's consolidate the kick and the snare together because we need to save some space, right? Okay, let's create a new MIDI track. Okay, so this is where things get technical a bit. It's okay. I'll just, you know, do some magic and yeah, you know, we'll get back to the usual broadcast, right? Okay, drum rack. This one we will drag in, drop. Okay, so snare we will delete it. We will maintain this here. And okay, back. Okay, let's migrate these two here, and we are back. And okay, so we need a snare. Okay, let's do something like that. Because again, this is just for us to trigger the side chain, right? So okay, just nice. Okay, let's just fill this in for side chain purposes. Okay, we definitely need more volume on the kick, lesser volume on the snare because the snare is really just there for a side chain. But yeah, I like the crunchiness, so maybe just give it a bit more. You know what? Yeah, 12 is good. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have sort of consolidated our snare and kick into one single drum rack. And drum rack, you can add a lot more things, right? So maybe you can even put a crash there, some small drum roll, this and that. So you can probably save a lot. Yeah, usually for my workflow, I'd rather do it like leave one track so that you can sort of just copy paste effects freely without the need to, you know, again go through the technical aspect of putting your samples in your drum rack, and then you need to trigger a MIDI note to trigger that sound again, you know. So, but you know, we're working with 8 tracks, you know, there's some limitations, you know, but you know, it's cool, right? Okay, so maybe like the drum part, it's still not as exciting, right? So you need to probably bring in a hi-hat during the chorus part, for example. Okay, so let's see, we need one more track there. So this one again, I'll dive into my personal sample favorites. And so these are samples that you use often in a lot of different songs, right? So hi-hat, there's this typical hi-hat that we always like to use. Very basic hi-hat. So I like this hi-hat because this hi-hat itself is very, very long. So there's this more simpler one in front, and back part is a more complicated one. So this is meant to be like, you know, so I like it because I can chop it up and use it, like, you know, if I want thing more exciting, I can use a double time one. If it's not as exciting, I can use the front part. So for now, I will just drag it in first, and oh no, not there. So I'll use the front part. I don't want to use the back part first. Maybe when I'm editing, I will use it. But let's have a look. Listen to what we have now. Okay, so and you can sort of test it out, you know, maybe let's say what if it sounds like, if let's say we straight away jump to the fast one. Okay, I will just keep it there first. That one probably I would like to just maybe sprinkle it here and there. I wouldn't like to need to play like that fast throughout the whole song. Okay, so now that we done that, we don't need loop cloud anymore because that's it, okay. So once you unlink your loop cloud, this is what happened. Like if it is still playing, it will play. Right. So now we don't need this anymore because we have already find the samples we need. Right. So in this particular track itself, we use 2 samples from the free sample pack, and then 1 sample from our previous sample pack, which is also free. So both are free, and a few cymatic samples, right? So yeah, we will definitely be using another cymatic samples because this one is more on arrangement later on. But let's just layer like the stuff first, right? So as mentioned, we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have hit the A track limit. So let's see. We'll need definitely a piano and then a 808 bass, right? So let's again. We still need that for an 808, but never mind. Let us just go for 808. All results. Now we just go for samples straight away, and again just back to cymatics because they are I would say king of 808 because they have been pushing up a lot of 808 stuff. 808 day, let's see. Okay, something like this. Okay. Okay, so I've turned essentially what is a single sample into an instrument, right? So I will now, play it. Like, so once you get your bass line, then that would sort of be a basic for you to sort of craft your chord, right? Of course, if I say you're using like if you're using a suite, or maybe there are other tools out there, you can probably feed this particular wobble into it, and you extract the MIDI data out, and you can sort of use that to also craft your bass and your chord. But since we don't have now, we sort of have to rely on it, rely on our own to craft our own piano and also bass. All right, we start with bass. Okay, to make things easier, I will just solo this and my bass. Okay, so as you can see now, I don't have perfect pitch, or nor I play the piano, so I have to sort of press around until I find the right note. Okay, there you go. So I've got the 3 basic notes for there, and we'll use Ableton's function to capture, right? So like just now what we've been playing, Ableton has been constantly listening, right? So yeah, they are the GCIA wiretapping you all the time. So what you've played, they did sort of record like a history for you to because sometimes sort of this kind of happy accident happen. You feel like you're just trying things out, but sometimes it works. So at least Ableton has always constantly listening to it. You can always just extract things that you sort of felt like, hey, that is the previous take is good, right? So you can use it. So now we know there is. Okay. We will. So this is the correct one. Correct. Okay. So let's just use this 3 data and quantize it so it's more on time. Okay, this is clearly not on time. So these are the basses. Let's just craft our bass more with our drum. Okay, so in Ableton Live, you can edit both MIDI notes together, so you can sort of see things much clearer. Okay, let's see. So it's best to, let your 808 hit sort of sync up together with your kick a lot. So let's say like, okay, so there is there's another one here. Just let it ring. For me, I like to pause my 808 when the snare hits, so it's just give it a lot more tightness. Okay, so you see there's two more here. Let's see. We can play a bit. Okay, let's go do a typical trap bounce. Okay, so there's another one here. Let's do another trap bounce. Okay, so this is a bit too short. There's another one more. Okay, let's see. Nah, maybe not go too crazy all the time. Oh yes, there is another snap here. That's why it's like sort of not as tight. Okay, let's see. One more here. Yeah, fine. Let's just throw in another one. Okay. So, in fact, are we satisfied with this? Like it being a okay 4-bar. Okay, so there are certain settings that I would like to do. Maybe I would like to slide my bass. So maybe I go for glide. So for glide to actually happen, notes need to overlap. Maybe not really. Portamento? We glide still, maybe much faster. Okay, so let's spice it up a bit more. Pitch bend. Oh yes. Okay, let's see if we can give it a like that. Boom, ba, boom, boom. Something like that, but maybe more. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe it's sort of wrong in a way there. Maybe just a small dip. Okay, certainly do makes a difference. So these are the importance of actually, really automating things here and there, because like ultimately, human likes to listen to, as electronic as electronic music is, it's good to add some, organic elements here and there. That's why, people like lo-fi so much, because lo-fi is like this whole, drifty thing, imperfections, it's what makes, people connect so much to it, right? So yeah, there's still a lot more you can do with it. Now it's just the beginning of things, but we'll do more on it maybe on the arranging phase, right? So we got our bass, maybe softer. Now it's a bit loud. Okay, something like that. And piano, right? In fact, do we need a piano? I'm not sure. So, okay, so like our idea is that we can use a piano, right? But then maybe we could maybe just use a filter to sort of tone down our wobble and use that as our verse instead. Not sure it works, but let's try. It works, but then like yeah, maybe it's like my piano. Let's just use a piano, right? So okay, so this piano actually, let's see. Okay, I'll use this piano. Additive keys. So additive keys is that if you own a Novation product or a Focusrite product, you will have a free additive keys, right? It comes with that package, right? But there are a lot of other free piano out there also that you can get. But for this, I didn't download much, so I have this here. So technically, if you own a Notion product and Focusrite product, it is sort of free. So yeah, sort of get around that. But again, there are a lot of pianos you can use out there still. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I will copy this over because I want to use that to sort of craft my chord, because as mentioned, I'm not a pianist, so yeah, I still punch in my chord a lot better, right? Let's see. Okay, we remove all this. Okay, so this one should be here. And now, hey, let's craft away. Okay, so now what I'm doing now, these are the basic triads, right? Okay, so now how I'm sort of inputting these notes is that for me, I've trained my ears to identify this whole dum dum dum, this 3 notes, how it would roughly sounds like, and then I would sort of just punch it in based on what I've heard. Sometimes I will click it wrongly, then I will just up and down until I find the right triads. And yeah, that's basically how I does my chord most of the time, because I'm not a pianist, so it's very hard for me to play like chords. So instead, like this is much easier. But of course, this is where it might be robotic, so like you need to go in and tweak a lot of things. So maybe like your timing, maybe add some groove here and there, right? But again, Fusion Bass, it's all about reach, chords. You know, the triads is you can like if it's for a intro, for example, maybe it might still work. But then for me, I like to add in more, spice up more, right? Because feature bass is all about extended chords, right? So let's turn off those three, and we'll listen to the normal triad. Let's make it louder. And let's listen to it with the extended chord. So this is like, you know, jazz for dummies, I guess. All right, man. Catch you later. So this is to Joe, all right? So extended chords, right? So these are, you know, you can add in more. So like now we are at 1, 3, 5. I think now we are at 7. So these are like some looks like minor 7th, major 7 sort of chord stacking. You can have up to I think 9th. But yeah, I will settle for 7, right? And what I will do now, maybe I'll sort of emulate like how a real pianist would play. So they'll play like, you know, lower notes and, you know, higher notes. So to make it even more realistic, how pianists would play is that maybe their left hand, their bass clef would probably play about 2 notes or 3. Then their treble clef would play 2, 3 also, right? So maybe I'll add one more at the lower one just to make it more realistic. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, maybe like this. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I would consider this to sort of invert it so that it sort of, the chord sort of sits nicer. So yeah, this is like my way of doing chords. It's really about, you know, going in and sort of experimenting it, inverting it, you know, moving it up and down just to get that, you know, texture. But again, you know, after experiment, sometimes you felt like, you know, maybe the original one is better still. So for me, I felt like maybe I like the non-inverted second chord. So I feel like this chord there's much more movement. There's this up and down movement, whereas the previous one, there's not much of that, right? But yeah, we can still tweak it a lot more as we go. So imagine that this one would be the intro of a song, and then, you know, as the build up happens, then we would, you know, slowly bring in the wobble, for example. So okay, so another trick I had to play is that maybe the piano now is a bit boring. So I'll probably introduce a bit of reverse. All right. Also, that one probably is much easier done in the when you are doing arrangement, right? And yes, probably a lot easier if you freeze this track, right? So let's see. Okay, some things that it's very hard to freeze stuff now. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick freezing trick now. So again, for those if you're just joining in, we are using Ableton LIVE Lite. So there are only 8 tracks you can use. That is the limit of this Ableton LIVE Lite, right? But then, so now we want to freeze this track, right? But then, in order to freeze it, you can freeze it, but then you cannot flatten it, right? So let's see. Okay, we'll do a ghetto way of doing it. Freeze it. Yes. So when you freeze this track here, they would render this MIDI track as a audio, right? And you can unfreeze it, and then you can go back to edit the audio and stuff like that, right? So now it's like a semi MIDI mode. You can see this MIDI, but you cannot edit the MIDI because like they are temporarily like replacing it with a audio version of that. So freezing is used for saving CPU. Sometimes when you have a lot of tracks like very heavily layered instrument rack, for example, after you've done that, you probably want to just extract this audio out. You don't need to constantly tweak it anymore. So you sort of save your CPU up and you leave it for other instrument, for example, right? So now when you sort of freeze it, the data is there, so you can easily drag and drop it out, and there you go. You have your piano already, right? So now I can go ahead and delete my piano and insert an audio track instead and put that piano here. All right, I would rename it piano, and now you're still keeping within that 8 tracks still. Okay, now we got our basic ready. Let us go in and do arrangement. Okay, so copy, and I'll go here and I'll paste it. Okay, so again, for those who are not familiar, this is Ableton Session View. So this is where I like to call it the idea sketch, the sketchpad zone of Ableton, right? So all these boxes over here, you can sort of write certain ideas that you have in your mind, and you can sort of compose a song non-linearly, I like to call it. So maybe you felt like, hey, this idea could be this particular loop is nice to be used in the verse. Then this particular drum loop, for example, is nice to use in the chorus. Then you can sort of store it within that drum track, and then when you sort of arrange it, you can drag those ideas in, and then only you decide where you want to put your ideas, right? Okay, so you see just now when we are constantly playing back our stuff, you can sort of see like things are just constantly playing, like it's looping like seamlessly. But when you look at here now, everything is actually of a different length, right? Because again, these are all loops, so everything is just constantly playing again, right? So you do not know like whether it's different length or not, because again, like when you're playing it like this, it will just compensate. Yeah. So maybe like this loop itself is longer, so maybe when this loop is played one time, the other shorter loop is being played 2 times, for example. So like that's like the whole Ableton is doing all the magic behind to sync things up and this and that. But now when you're arranging, I like to instead have a more fixed grid to work with, because again music when you're arranging, for example, it's just a lot easier, right? So let's see. Okay, let's go a quick locator guide. Intro. Typo. Intro. Okay, we'll go for verse. Okay, again, we're gonna test out the whole vibe first. Okay, we can use 8 bar, so you can go towards that concept. So now, for Future Bass, we will always have a build. because like that is like how electronic things. So if you're doing like R&B or normal pop songs, those are usually pre-chorus, for example. But future bass is definitely a build, and then we don't have a chorus. We have a drop, right? And then let's just go forwards and do this is a outro, right? Okay, so when the song ends, you probably have like, yeah, it's a 1 minute song, right? But again, this is a basic arrangement guide. You can do verse 2, you can do chorus 2, chorus 3, things like that. So when you sort of expand that idea, then you will definitely get a 2-3 minute song. But now to keep this simple, we're gonna just make a short beat, right? Okay, so again, we have an idea of starting with a piano, and the warp only comes in afterwards, right? So build, yes, I'll imagine it to sort of filter in. And okay, sparkle up, also keep it towards there. Okay, the lead. Okay, so lead, yes, I'll just come in like here, all right? So our piano, our bass. Okay, so our bass would come in on verse, and it would definitely be there when our drop happens, because the drop is when you want everything to come in, right? Okay, so now we are arranging. Let me just remove that part temporarily so you can sort of see it better. I'll close this too, so we can sort of see it a lot better on how we approach this arranging process. Okay, our drums are definitely there. Okay, so hi-hat, I'll leave it for the chorus, right? And in with a top, it's good. Maybe half. Okay, our outro, I would like to aim with a warp. So our piano, so we start with and end with different instrument. That's one way to keep things interesting. And yeah, maybe I'll just let this solo to play up behind on a filtered wobble, right? And yes, that's it. That's about it. Then, but yes, we need to go in and craft a lot more. Like that's about it for like getting the frame ready. There's still a lot more works to be done. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you mentioned like your piano when you're starting out. Okay, so like now it's especially when it's playing by itself, it's very boring. Like there's nothing much going on, right? So I would like to use reverse, right? So I would copy this up, and R, I'll reverse that track, right? And I'll do the same here also. Same here. Okay, so there's the same chord, so I can essentially just duplicate the whole thing. Okay, so you see like now, of course, things are not arranged nicely yet. There's still a lot of things to be done. Okay, but yeah, the starting feel, okay, maybe not the best, but let's see. Maybe this one we want me to make it shorter, softer, because now it's like a bit abrupt. And maybe we need to crossfade it a bit also. So let's see. Okay, now let's see how we can sort of, add in more things there. So maybe, do we want to introduce our lead in front? So I would imagine that, like we can probably tease our lead, So you can go in and edit it to be simpler. Okay, let's see, maybe you don't need this. Don't need this also. Okay. Okay, about there. But then you will notice that it's very choppy now, right? So let's try to add some effects to it. So maybe I'll add a delay. Okay, about there. -6 maybe, just a bit. And so the keyword here is we are teasing the lead, right? So maybe add a filter. Maybe just give it like a in fact, yeah, I'll go in and increase the filter. Nope, a lot more. Okay, maybe it's too much. Cannot hear anything anymore. Maybe I don't even want this. Okay, so I like that. So this could be my outro. So it's a good, like, you start slow and you end slow, but yeah, maybe on different filters lah. So this filter itself, since I'm already working on this, so imagine it to slowly open up, and the chorus it will hit full force, and then when it goes back to here, and yeah, you can probably, this is when you can just filter out slowly. Okay, so this is very sensitive. So maybe I just give for 1K. Maybe 1K is good. Okay, maybe I'll do that same here. Just let it fade to 1K. Yep, something like that. So this particular filter itself, in fact, I can just copy it to sparkle up and also wobble bass, because yeah, it's the same. Okay, so like the idea of like building it up. So this build is quite long. So maybe instead, we can introduce things a lot slower, like one by one. Okay, so you see, like the wobble is sort of like falls on the downbeat. I see the lead sort of starts slightly later, so that this is what you would felt, like it's like things are like not on time, So like build part, right? So more so for electronic build, you would have the build drums, right? So that would probably solve this issue, right? So build drums, we will just straight away again dive back to our friends at Cymatics, because again they also build very, very nice build drums. Yeah. So they literally have a pack literally called build up drums, right? So let's go in and find something that's closer to our range of BPM. Let's have a listen. Okay, maybe this one is good. I would just put it in the top. Yeah. Okay, so see, it's not as perfectly timed because I think the back empty part, Ableton sort of lost track a bit. So let's go in and just drag the basics to fit to the timing. Okay, so let's make it a lot more tighter, right? So let's see, maybe at this part over here, maybe my Sparkle app would stop right there. In fact, maybe I will warp. Yep, there you go. Okay, so I would improve the build up. So the second part there, maybe I would introduce a kick, right? So let's see. Okay, we will use this as a template. And so it's slowly building up, right? So a typical build, like the kick sort of plays faster and faster and faster. Okay, maybe not here, maybe. Okay, so for me, I like to give it a bit more groove by maybe offsetting certain drums. Okay, roughly there. Maybe we probably need. Okay, so now you will still feel that things are still not like very nicely it's like not as cohesive still, right? So let's go in and tweak a lot more, right? Okay, So at this point, yes, maybe we do need extra tracks, right? So okay, so first and foremost, we need those crash or those symbol and this and that, right? So crash is simple. I can easily add it in drum rack. So let's go on to add it in crash. I'll use Ableton stock. A bit of variation. Okay, so this part over here, I would have a crash. Yep, this one. And this one, I would also have a crash. Okay, very soft. Let's make it louder. Okay, and also one thing you can experiment is remember we have this reverse over here. We can use that, you know. Yes. Okay, maybe a tighter curve, maybe even like this. We can even use you know what, maybe it might work better like this. Okay, maybe no need to be so tight now because now we are using it here. Okay, so okay, so now we added crash, but then like I like to use symbol, right? So symbol might be a bit tricky, right? Because symbol doesn't really falls at the downbeat or anything like that. It sort of played before and then it sort of extend across that downbeat, right? But I suppose we can still use it. We can probably still hold it within here. So again, I will go back to my personal favorite. So this symbol is by David J. Wool. Again, these are all the stuff I use constantly in a lot of my tracks, right? So this particular symbol itself is fully free. You can grab it at freesounds.org. But you see, this is what I meant. You know, like the symbol doesn't really start at the downbeat, so it sort of starts before, and you probably have to time sync your crash to fit nicely. But so that means like if I say you want your crash your symbol to sort of land here, it's probably going to start like maybe earlier. So I suppose like I'm guessing maybe here. But okay, so you need to make sure that something like that. So okay, so earlier, way earlier. So let's see, maybe here. Nope, way earlier. In fact, yeah, let's just go super early. Okay, so another way is that if I say this sample itself, maybe it's slower by itself, right? So maybe you can warp it and maybe try doubling it. So when it's doubling the speed, then maybe try here. Okay, still no. Yeah, making it faster already, but it's probably still need to be here. Okay, very, 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 very close. Maybe here. Okay, I'm satisfied with the timing, but not the volume. Still need a lot more. Okay, so this up, maybe yes, I want it to, it comes in very fast. Okay, so maybe at this point, when you sort of build up your build already, maybe you can sort of, expect a much more intense drop, right? So let's instead now switch up to the faster one, as in the faster hi-hat version. Okay, so maybe during this point, you want your wobble to sort of already, fade out slowly, so it sort of just have a much seamless connection. Same goes to this. Okay, I would like to end this with a symbol also, like previously. So I copy this here. Okay, but yeah, maybe they could use a better drum roll. Okay. Let's see if I'm copying the reverse one behind. Okay, so maybe I could also use this here. Okay, so this idea of maybe, our wobble can just stay in front and just be like a, a layer that's like behind, sort of thing like that. Not sure if it works, but I can try. Okay, it works, but then maybe like I don't want to be constantly there, so maybe at this point just 4 warps, maybe like this. Yeah, maybe for me that grad. Maybe even more. And maybe here, I also don't really like this, so let's keep it clean also here. So same, don't want this. Okay, so maybe, okay, so this part of here, I know that there's a drum roll behind, we can use that. So maybe don't need this. Okay, so now it's back to the concept of like making your verse drum simpler. So maybe like I don't need the double kick behind. So maybe I don't even need a double kick here. So now that we don't have that, we don't need this double bass here. So okay, so our this kind of bass, we don't need such a big jump. Okay, maybe you don't need the second bass kick too. That's in the bass hit. Okay, so we haven't yet removed this in. No, okay, we want that symbol. All right, so now let's go in and so just did some basic editing here. In fact, yeah, we don't even need this. Okay, so I like to make my drop tighter, so maybe I leave some empty spaces here and there. So maybe like here, we don't need this too. Okay, we can again practice that same concept of doing this. Yeah, I probably don't need this because there's already a roll going on there. In fact, I'll just use this opportunity to just slip in some other sort of complementing drum roll. So again, back to my personal collection, there is some very basic something like that, or I think there's another one that is a bit more. Nope. Okay, something like this, right? So okay, again you need to warp it and drop it in time. Okay, yeah, at this point this is just OCDing, but you don't need to be that precise. Okay, I would put it behind here. Let's just solo the drums. I could just, you know, sync it up with the top one. But yeah, maybe I like this more. So hi-hat, maybe I would consider putting in a auto pan. So let's go back to Major 4, Task X, auto pan. So this one could also be copied behind here. Okay. Okay, so at this point, like, you know, the whole flow is roughly there. You can use to spice up a bit things more. Maybe like the intro, you felt like maybe it's a bit too dry still. Maybe you could consider maybe adding like a layer of maybe lo-fi cassette tape hiss, and sort of lead in, give it like a more ambient-y start, and then it goes to the verse, for example. Then you build up the whole track, right? And in between the drop also, you can probably do some how to say, like a pause and then come back in sort of thing like that going on. Double time if you want to. You know, now it's like there's like one of the future-based technique that is used by a lot of people, from normal beat time signature to like a double time-ish sort of vibe. And let's see, what else can we really go and do? Let's see, we add in our crash, we add in some of this basic filtering. Yes, now let us try. So there's this tool called UJam by UJam. It's called Finisher Micro, right? So this thing over here is free, and again you can find it in your link. I haven't activated. Let me oh well, never mind. I'll activate it and I'll be right back real quick. You know what? Never mind. So it's like a one knob build up machine. So like, you know, just by turning up that knob, it will sort of, you know, give you that riser sort of effect. And they have a lot of different presets. So they have like the one where you can add like a bit more sparkly rise together with some filter. And they also have like another one with like a bit of choppiness, and then there's one with like a more frequency shifting effect here and there. So yeah, very easy to use tool. Basically you just need to go usually add into your master track, or if you say you want to only process your instrument and not your drums, then you can probably put in your instrument master bus, for example. Let me see if I sort of have some alternative here. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is also another free one. I suppose it is still online. So this is by the man himself, the man behind that is behind Plugin Boutique, Loop Cloud. You will see him a lot in those kind of Loop Cloud live stream. So this is one knob build up by Joshua Casper. That's been JC, right? So it's the same concept. See, it's it's not available in the light version. Oh well, fine. So basically, like what Joshua Casper does is that it's sort of give you this 8 knob thing, like the macro, like there's this, and just by turning this one knob, and it will sort of give you the same effect as this reverb wash filter, and they sort of give you this riser effect sort of thing going on. So initially, I would like to demonstrate this particular effect on the build up. So I will probably automate it right until at this point over here, and then everything comes back in, right? So it will sort of just give it that more so it's like, maybe I'll just recreate it using a conventional tool, right? So basically all these things is literally just like a filter. Okay, you know what? Okay. Okay, auto filter, and usually it's accompanied by a reverb. Okay, you know what? Let's just do our own one knob pumper, our own UGEM finisher, right? Okay. Okay, so this is like the basic rack. Okay, there you go. So you need to host up an effect rack, and then you can set up your own chain. So usually, and macro. So this is the one thing that you want to do, right? So you can map this macro to this particular knob over here. Usually it's a high pass filter. So maybe let's give it 40, 60. And so when you turn this particular knob, let's see, edit. Oh no, doesn't work. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now let us bring in again reverb. You know what? Maybe it could be a different chain. Yeah, that works. So both signals are a bit more separated. So what I'm doing now is a bit more advanced. So if you're starting out, maybe if you are not sure, like what are all these things doing, it's fine. In fact, yeah, maybe I'll just share this rack, so you don't need to. But again, UGEM Finisher is free, so it's the same thing, and it's even more powerful. So you can just grab that, register it, make sure you register it. It's free. So for my case is that I totally forgotten to register because I recently reformatted my computer a few times because there are some RAM issue, and then you reformatted here and there, and you reinstall stuff. So I guess I probably forgot to activate it after I reinstall it, right? So let's just dive to it. So in Audio Effect Rack, you can map the same knob to a few different things, right? So for this case over here, maybe I would just maybe the dry wet, right? So map again and map. Okay, so now my macro one is controlling two different things, right? So maybe I will just give it a head start. Don't need to be like fully dry. Okay, so now when I turn this knob, then let's see the effect that we have now. So something like that. So it becomes thinner and thinner, but yeah, maybe my effect is not as. So maybe I probably need to boost up this one. So when you have that, then it's probably more prominent. Something like that, but yeah, my reverb is not as obvious. Maybe I just need to go wham with it. Yeah, let's give it a try. not too bad, not too bad for a simple, try like this. Of course, there's a lot more things you can do. In fact, like you can probably, what like they like to do is that they can even map this particular the resonance map. So like the higher you go, the more it sort of peak. So you start with 30, then maybe we go up to, maybe not too crazy, maybe 80. Let's see what you have now. Okay, so see when you turn this knob up, so the resonance peak sort of increase together. Something like that, Of course, Finisher, UJam, and Joshua Casper's plugin probably does a much better job than mine. So, but then just to get the idea, right? So just by using this simple stuff here, even just by using this, right? So I can probably go ahead and automate things here a bit. So I'll probably start slow and something like that. But yeah, let me just stop right before that last one. So this exact automation, you just probably need to copy it to, let's say, UJam, or if you're running a Suite version, you can use the Joshua Casper's one knob build up, and it's the same concept. So one knob, you just automate that one knob, and just give it a nice sweep right before that thing ends, and it will give you that sort of reverse-ish effect. So, but yeah, the other one probably doesn't do such an abrupt, sweep as mine, but it's because the resonance is the one that's causing that anomaly, and maybe I don't even need to go to that high, because when you sort of filter that much, you can't really hear anything anymore. Yeah, so that's the idea behind this whole one knob thing. I suppose I'm doing a very bad job in doing a copy of a one knob build up tool, but yeah, that's the idea. In fact, actually there are a lot of things you can use also, right? So for example, there's also a tool by Ableton itself. So you can go for audio effect rack. It's called under mod, I think, performance and DJ. So there's a knob one fade to gray. So that can be used also, but this effect is very, 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 how to say, very sensitive. So a bit can cause quite a bit of effect already. One. Okay, maybe give it let's try that. Not sure how it will turn out. Okay, yeah, let's try, Not too bad, right? So maybe if you want it to be coming a little bit earlier. Okay, my arpeggio, I would like to give it a auto pan also. So again, go BST3, arpeggio fluid task X. Okay, auto pan, but this one a lot more. So maybe I will give it a 0.8. And it's maybe a bit too much. Let's see, I'll go for 1.8. Maybe, let's just go for 0.5. In fact, our hi-hat, yeah, maybe 116 is a bit too much as well. Let's give it a 1.8. Okay, maybe I want to reverse the phase. Is it this one? Nope. Let's see. No, nope. Okay. I know what to do. Yeah, there you go. So in Ableton's Auto Pen, you can easily switch the phase, but then here you have to do it manually. You have to offset left and right differently. So now at least you know that your hi-hat and your ARP, although they share the same effect, but then they are sort of bouncing off at a different rate, different side, right? Of course, these are, you have to really listen to it to really pick it up. Normal audience probably wouldn't notice it. Okay, maybe this one really don't need that much. And now that it's auto pen, it can probably be louder. Oh yes, no wonder I was like, we set up a lot of sidechain, but then we cannot really hear it. It's because when I sort of change my drum rack, I need to sort of reset my chain, right? So now mostly my first sidechain is to my kick. So I need to go to my drum rack, and in drum rack you can easily select your let me see, drum rack. Okay, so in drum rack you can pick like which particular trigger will trigger that sidechain, right? So mine is a kick, and then my second one is my snare, right? And there you go. Okay, now I need to go in and sort of select my rate. So these are all my preset that is like just there, so I need to probably improve it as I go. 1, maybe 10. Okay, all these things you really have to go in and slowly listen to it and find that right setting. But yeah, maybe it's too much. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I would end this with a kick also. So yeah, maybe my verse, I'll probably decrease the hi-hat also. Okay, my lead, although we sort of filter it, it's still quite loud. So maybe I would go in and decrease the volume, automate the volume also. There you go. One future bass beat. using only 8 tracks and with free stuff with our very own sample pack. You can find it in the link down below. And yeah, a lot of this kind of free stuff, cymatic samples, UJam finisher, everything, all the links are down below. And yeah, you can find out more of our other videos where there are a lot more free stuff you can download. All right. Okay, so again, my name is Benson, and this is a stream. Actually, how long have we been streaming? Okay, 1 hour 40 something minutes. All right, so there are minus some hiccups here and there. It's about 1 hour, 1.5 hour, about there. So we crafted this beat. It's nowhere near done. There's a lot more things you can do. Like really, I would go in and tighten the drop a lot more, and adding some pauses here and there. Maybe give it more automation at the bass, for example. So yes, so this has been future bass beat with just 8 tracks. All right. Okay, I hope the stream would be fine like afterwards, because I've been constantly seeing this frame rate error. I'm not sure why. Like, it's fine the first time, but now it's constantly having this issue. Oh well, I guess I hope it's fine, because if you're watching it afterwards, then it might have like some delays and this and that. In fact, I'm not sure whether there's delays now, but oh well, fingers crossed. Yep, that's it. All right. So it's been nice chilling. I should do this more often, and I will have a lot of songs. Right. So see you guys soon.